Welcome to the Corona Diaries. My name is Rivers Langley. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 47 of the show. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to be hearing from Brandie, Posey, and Anna Valenzuela. They are two of my absolute favorite people in comedy, and they also have great podcasts. So if you are not subscribed to 12 Questions, Chupa and the Cabra, and Lady to Lady, go ahead and do that. Anna and Brandie are absolutely hilarious, and cannot wait to talk to them later in this episode. And the one other housekeeping item, head over to patreon.com/thegoodspod and join the Tower of Power. $5 a month gets you access to a bonus show every week. This week, I have been very late, and I apologize for that, but you're going to be getting straight up a 2.5-hour show of me and Dr. Pat reviewing the awful UWF show from 1994. It's called Blackjack Brawl. It is available in its entirety. There are actually two different versions of it on YouTube. One of them is without the commercials. One of them is with the commercials. You better believe we reviewed the one with the commercials from 1994. It's fucking hilarious. We had such a good time recording this episode, and this is going to be worth the wait. I assure you. Now, before we hear from Brandie and Anna, we have our friend waiting patiently on the line. He is a grocer in Austin, Texas. He is America's essential worker. He is the Goods from the Woods essential listener. Waiting on the line, Ben in Austin. How's it going, dude?
Hey, how's it going? Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when's the last time we did this, and I think it was still was it March or April?
Maybe the beginning of April. It was like right before the lockdown, basically. Like, it's been a bit.
Yeah,
it might as well be 2019.
Seriously.
I mean, since then, everything's changed, really. I mean, like, it's everything but locusts and hellfire at this point, right? So it's slightly terrifying.
Yeah. Well, hey, may you live in interesting times. Speaking of which, what's been the hubbub at the grocery store? What's happening there?
So I don't want to get into it too much because you and Carter basically completely comprehensively covered my thoughts on it. But the Aunt Jemima thing.
Oh, yes.
With Aunt Jemima being canceled.
Oh, did you hear today that I'm going to try to find some comments and talk about it. They're changing Splash Mountain's theming at Disney from Song of the South, which is what it had been forever, and now it's going to be Princess and the Frog. So they're changing it to their one Black Princess film, and I haven't read the Facebook yet, but I can't wait. I
read a couple because I saw that article too, and my wife was talking about it. I read a couple.
Dude.
I hadn't hit that sweet spot yet where I found the really terrible ones. I found so many where it was like the people that don't realize why Splash Mountain is a problem, or they're like, well, why don't they just make another water ride and then they could have two? And it's like, you don't realize, if it's a ride is based on a movie that Disney can't talk about, maybe they should change it. It's only there for antiquity's sake,
right?
Because it's like a classic ride. But they can't talk about, they're like, oh, yeah, there's singing animals from nothing because that movie doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Yeah, well, it's so funny because it's exactly like the syrup thing where it's like, trust me when I tell you, they're not going to stop making the syrup. It's just going to have a different fucking name. Trust me when I tell you, the log flume is still going to go zoom and splash. I don't know why this affects anybody is beyond me, but anyway, Aunt Jemima. Sorry, get back to what we're here to talk about. What happened at the store with Aunt Jemima?
So I met a living incarnation, an avatar of, if you will, of a Facebook comment of one of these commenters that you've been speaking about. I met one in the flesh, and it was interesting. I had somebody come through my line. It was like 2 or 3 days after the Aunt Jemima announcement.
Yeah.
And this woman, for one, she looked like if she was supposed to be on medication, she wasn't taking it. She was kind of jittery and talking to herself. And she bought about 25 to 30 boxes of Aunt Jemima, the pancake mix, and an accompanying dozen or so bottles of the syrup. And She's just jittery, and she's talking to her adult daughter who's with her. And I pick up on her conversation after a bit, and as she's loading the boxes on the belt, she starts saying, they're just racist. Like, they're just racist. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, what are we seeing? What's happening? They're just killing her, and they're racist, and they'll never stop. They'll never stop. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like,
oh God.
Like, this woman's been on Facebook all day.
Oh yeah.
She's not on any medication, and she's just like, they just hate her because she's racist. And it's that weird, like, backwards logic of like, oh, you're bringing up racial inequality, so you're racist,
right?
So, like,
right. Reverse racism. They're the Quaker Corporation, PepsiCo, is doing reverse racism to Aunt Jemima.
Black people.
Yeah,
they hate black people, so that's why they're taking her off the box.
Yes, that's right.
And at one point she starts muttering something about selling the boxes, which, like, I don't even think you can do, because, like, eBay doesn't allow you to sell, like, racist paraphernalia. So, like, and and finally, like, she gets to the point where she's just like, these racists never stop, and I just, like, kind of lean over and tell her, yeah, they never do. Yeah, and she just, like, looked at me like I just entered her bubble of existence because she's off on her ramble, and it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, with stuff like that, you almost just have to let it. You're just like, just let them. They'll be dead eventually. Just let them do it. I don't know.
She wasn't even that old, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
She was probably in her 50s or 60s.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So she'll live to like 107.
Yeah. And of course, not wearing a mask.
Oh, well, never mind. Maybe she'll die next week.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. 15 days, right?
Yeah. And then I also, one other, like, side note, I had another group come in with a young man that I can only describe as looking like the villain from the first Purge movie, like the guy with the mask. Looked exactly like that. And bought a box of Aunt Jemima's, a box of cream of wheat, a box
Uncle
of
Ben?
Uncle Ben.
Yes!
Like, every one of them.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, surely this man is going home to burn these and make an alt-right YouTube video, because this is the only reason he would be buying all of these combinations of items at once. So
he just really likes starches. His doctor was telling him he wasn't getting enough starch, so he's like, give me the pancakes, give me the rice, give me the cream of wheat, let's get some starches in me.
And, like, I'm a person, like, I read comic books and I'm into all the nerdy stuff. Like, I understand attachments to fictional characters, but, like, it's a smiling face on a box. It's not like
it doesn't have a story. She's not Spider-Man. She doesn't have a backstory. But yeah, no, I'm there's a part of me, he's either going to make a video or he's burning them, or he's like some weirdo that has like a small shrine or something in his house to all the good things in his life that liberalism killed. Yeah.
Well, and it goes back to that, like, people that got mad when Nike made the Kaepernick commercial where they're like, I'm going to burn my Nikes. It's like, well, you still paid for them.
Yeah,
like,
they made the money. What?
Yeah, like, you're buying 20 boxes of Aunt Jemima's because you're mad at them. Like, you're paying my paycheck right now and making Quaker money. Like, so it's kind of silly.
Yeah. Oh, it's completely silly. Oh man. Well, if you haven't had any other incidents besides those happen since last we chatted?
The only other thing I can think of is you're talking about weird neighbors as another one of your ongoing things. So one of the neighbors that's in my building, he's at the other end of the building, is a police officer.
Okay.
So going into the other apocalyptic thing happening with all the protests and the response to that, about a week after the protests started, I was coming home from work and he was leaving for work at the same time, and we passed each other in the parking lot. And so he's going to work in his cruiser and he's blaring Bodies by Drowning.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Like, whoa, you're going to work and there's protests in Austin and you're blaring Bodies.
Jeez.
Like, what the Like, that's not a good song.
No, I mean, truthfully, I kind of that is a song for cops. Like, I think that there's the demographic of people who love Bodies by Drowning Pool and people who are police officers is pretty much a perfect circle. There's almost that's who that song is for. So that makes sense, but it's also horrifying considering how much violence happened in Austin specifically.
In Austin specifically,
a kid lost his eye, right? Didn't they shoot?
Yeah, I saw a couple of things. I think that happened at least once. And you know, we had a protest here. I'm in the suburbs, and the police officers supposedly the protest was like planned in advance, and the police department here put out a statement that said, "Oh, we're not going to be involved. We're not even going to have a presence." And they were just like down the street, and then like circling it in cruisers. Like they were like, "Oh, we're not going to be involved," but they're still right there. I was like, "You're just waiting for something to happen so you can tear gas people."
Right. Well, that's like saying I'm going to go get in the ocean. I've been told the sharks won't be involved. It's like, no, they're there. Like, they might not be actively fucking with you, but they're there.
Yeah.
God. Well, and then also, and Austin is also the spot where they had the thank you notes. The cops made their own thank you notes.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. I heard about that. It was ridiculous.
And they posted them on Twitter, and it was very obvious that one person had done them.
You know, there seems to be like a lot, and you know, most of it was the more negative side, where like you know, people that were allegedly police that were vandalizing, and you know. But to do that, like to just pat yourself on the back and then like, oh, it's all fake. It's like, why? Like, you guys are ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're staying safe and all that. I don't know if you want to plug anything. Do you have anything to plug?
No, I don't have anything to plug. I just want people to stay safe and, you know, keep protesting and and just wear your masks and be okay. Like, love each other if you can. And Black Lives Matter.
Hell yeah, dude. That's great, man.
Well,
let's we'll chat again in a couple in a month or so and see if anything changes down there. You know, after they get rid of the cream of wheat chef, that'll be the real test, because nobody fucking eats cream of wheat.
But they're going to make us think about it, though.
That's what I mean.
Because they care.
I'm the only one.
He's a member of their family.
Yeah, he's a member. He's a cherished member of their family. I get cream of wheat sometimes just to shake it up if I don't want to do oatmeal. But I feel like when I buy it, I'm like, I'm the only person on the planet buying this, right? Like, it's not.
No, it's gross.
I get the cinnamon one, which is like slightly better sometimes. But
I think one time I tried, they had like a chocolate variety, and I was like, oh, maybe this will be good. And I'm like, oh, this is just mushy garbage.
Yeah, I always I get one box, and then immediately go back to oatmeal. So I don't know. But anyway, I guarantee you they're going to be mad about it. So we'll see. We'll talk when that happens.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Rivers.
All right, bud. Take care of yourself.
Bye.
It's chilly outdoors, but inside. For generations, frosty mornings have seemed warmer with stacks of
Aunt Jemima buckwheats.
Right, Aunt Jemima buckwheats, deep golden brown with a tantalizing buckwheat tang. It's the same today. Men still need a hearty, nourishing breakfast.
And men love Aunt Jemima buckwheats.
No buckwheats can equal that famous Aunt Jemima flavor.
And they're so easy.
Just pour out Aunt Jemima buckwheat mix from the yellow box. Then add milk. Serve with crisp brown pork sausage or with ham or bacon. Lots of lucky men can have Aunt Jemima buckwheats tomorrow if they only ask for them.
Men, ask for Aunt Jemima buckwheat pancakes. They're good.
On the blower from goddamn Eagle Rock, California. It's two of my favorite people in comedy, in life. It's Anna Valenzuela and Brandie Posey. What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's up?
It's good to see you guys officially, as far as the audience knows.
Oh, boy.
For the first time since the pandemic, but unofficially, the second time. But hey, technology is...
I got a haunted SD card, guys.
I actually don't think it's our fault. I think Rivers had a poltergeist for a minute, because you had a couple podcasts
podcast that week that didn't work out, right?
A podgergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cursed week, but never fear, it's all good. We're happy to be joined by you. Although I will say, since the last time we spoke, the world is different again.
I was gonna say cursed week during the pandemic. What are you talking about?
Who knew?
Who knew a week could be cursed during this?
Yeah, it was just the pandemic.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had two co-hosts, and now it's just me because both my co-hosts, for various reasons, got exposed potentially to coronavirus, so they're all quarantining.
What happened? Tell us everything. Licking telephone poles? What were they doing?
No, very simple. Carter went to the protest with his girlfriend, and then he kept going to them. So I think he'll be out of jail in like a couple days.
Yeah.
Or out of West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then Sam had a series of seizures.
Oh, shit.
And he's epileptic, and he had to go to a hospital to get treated for epilepsy. And the hospital is the worst possible place you can be even for a scan. I think he was only there for probably 5-6 hours, but yeah. So it's just me right now. So I'm calling all my friends.
Yeah. Well, so much for me making a joke about you eating them, because one of them had a serious problem and one of them was doing a noble thing. I was like, Rivers it's officially living in a bunker now. When you've lost the co-host, it becomes a bunker.
Yes, it's now the bunker.
Oh, it feels like a bunker. I kind of love it. I'm turning into good Alex Jones down here. Just coming up with all my woke conspiracies down here.
Exactly.
It's all fireworks. I've got a chalkboard about the fireworks and the cops.
What do you think are you believing that the cops are giving people fireworks to arrest them?
No, because they don't have to do that. They can do shit like drive through Harlem at 2 a.m. with the sirens blaring. Like, they don't actually,
That's true.
Like, they have tools at their disposal to fuck with the populace writ large. I think it's actually, having known at least one person who worked for an entire summer as a firework guy. My buddy AG traveled around to like various places setting up gigantic firework displays and shit. And those firework guys are insane.
Yeah,
And that's their like boom season too. Right now and those firework people, the stories he was telling me, it's basically all they do is the ones who are real hardcore smoke meth and set up fireworks, and the ones who are less hardcore drink approximately 6 gallons of Red Bull a day and set up fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
They're all speed freaks. They're all pyromaniacs. They wear these gigantic like chemistry gloves so that they don't get burned by magnesium and shit like that.
Yeah.
And regularly they just set them on fire and then like bitch slap the guy from behind or something just to like freak him out.
Totally. They're pyromaniac carnies.
So my point is those people have now been turned loose with a surplus inventory that they are not allowed to shoot in most cases.
Yeah.
So, as much as I distrust law enforcement, I slightly tend to distrust strange pyro carny meth heads.
Yeah.
The slightest bit less,
Exactly. The structural issues aren't there. That is more of an individual problem.
Yeah. So them selling off their extra like mortar shells is plausible too. So
where I grew up, nobody did like regular fireworks at home. And the reason is because we had a fireworks factory in the county, because we had a lot of industry, right? And so we had a fireworks factory and our 4th of July was fucking sick. People would drive from like 50 miles around to come and watch our like, because they would like shoot off this stuff that like they either couldn't sell.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah. Well, then it's like if it's around, it's not like this thing that's hard to get. That's like when it's something's like difficult to find or whatever.
Right.
Like the people are going to want it more too.
Well,
so.
and no one wants a small town like that to catch fire.
No.
So,
especially when there's a fireworks factory there. I mean, that becomes a crater. You can crater out your entire town.
We had fireworks, we had glass, we had clay, and we had prisons. That was it.
Wow. That's a hot town, literally.
Hot town.
Yeah.
Literally. About 110 for 2 weeks out of the year.
Jesus. Well, and they're making ceramics and fireworks and shit. So, yeah.
Exactly. Lots of shrapnel and fire coming out of Anna's hometown. Shrapnel and Fire, the Anna Valenzuela story.
The name of my first album, Shrapnel and Fire.
What was the fireworks scene in Maryland, Brandie? Like, what did you have growing up?
Well, so you can get them in over the border in Pennsylvania. Maryland won't sell them properly, but you can drive an hour and a half.
Every state that's ever tried to like ban fireworks, the problem is they're always abutting like a redneck state on one side or the other.
Yeah.
If they were to ban them in California, people just go to Arizona and Nevada.
Yeah.
You would just get them somewhere else. Totally.
Yeah, they already do that to get the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you drive over, you get there. I mean, I grew up about 15 minutes from the Naval Academy, which is like on the Chesapeake Bay, downtown Annapolis, and they used to throw this like epic firework 4th of July show where the Naval Academy band would like play right on the water, and like the entire city like it gets taken over by people. So like that was always like the big 4th of July thing. And like you Roman candle fought and stuff beforehand, but like there weren't at least in the suburbs there weren't a lot of people that just like had like one or two just mortars on their own or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like a dude thing. How irresponsible were y'all with fireworks just generally?
I mean, Roman candle fighting for sure, shooting them at each other and stuff. That was about the extent of it, though.
Man, I once accidentally roller skated off my front porch onto my back. So my parents were like, no handheld fireworks for this kid. She's clumsy as a motherfucker. I was always accidentally falling off of something, getting hurt. I had like 5 concussions when I was a kid, just falling off the jungle gym onto my head. Like I was crazy. So my parents were just like, nah, she already has brain damage. She's gonna need all her fingers for the
This is how I find
burger
out.
flipping, you know?
This is a great moment to find out that my roommate has one of the symptoms of a serial killer. It feels good.
Yeah, a bunch of concussions.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a bunch of concussions.
Yeah, that feels really good to know that you and Ed Gein have quite a bit in common. Okay, great, perfect.
I will say she swapped out one of the symptoms for the other one, which is pyromania.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. And I love animals. I would
do.
never hurt an animal. I have to show you the most disturbing birthday gift I got.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, this is exciting.
Oh, what do you got?
Are you ready? Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Hold
So
on.
my friend
Rivers, this shit is crazy.
wanted to get me something comedy related. So she got me this shirt.
Oh, I want that.
Well, Rivers, all you have to do is Google comedy shirt, and it comes up. It's the second.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, how did she find? It's also, this is the Joker makeup from the movie The Joker.
We thought at first that it was Gacy.
Yeah, we thought it was John Wayne Gacy.
But if you look closely, the eyebrows are not correct.
Yeah.
The eyebrows are Joker.
Yeah, it's Joaquin
So-
Phoenix. It's a Joaquin Phoenix Joker T-shirt.
Oh my
She
God.
opened that and the house chilled.
I ran around the house being like, look at it, stare into the face of madness.
Sometimes I hear when Anna's sleeping at night, I'll hear like the Joker laugh comes out of her because the shirt is actually haunted. She's slowly becoming. When you start slitting your mouth, we're gonna have a house meeting.
I know, yeah. Just come out. And I'm like,
That shirt is amazing. I'm gonna search for that, buy it, and I will also put it on our Twitter so people can see it at the Goods Pod. That is I love that shirt.
Yes. Just to reiterate, just Google comedy shirt.
comedy shirt. That's all you got to do. Comedy shirt.
Is it?
And what you will get is the most upsetting. I don't know if it's so upsetting I should wear it or I should frame it or I should burn it. I can't.
Either
All three.
way, I want you to cut the sleeves off of it. That's all I
You're
want.
good at cutting a t-shirt. You gotta help me cut
Okay.
this t-shirt into something
Hey,
wearable.
Anna, hold it up. I'm gonna get a
It's a hell of a
screenshot.
thing. Boy.
Happy birthday to me.
There it is. Got it. All right.
It's horrifying. Perfect.
Man, that's so funny. Is it
So
only available
crazy.
in that heather gray, or do they have a black shirt? Because I like black shirts more than gray.
I only saw
Okay.
Heather Gray, but I'm gonna let you know that I have a hard time believing it's not in black.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
that is a black shirt.
Okay, here's
kind
what
of
I
a-
want to do though. Now that I'm thinking about it, if it's not available in black, because if it's in black, I'll just wear it all the time. But if it's only available in heather gray, that is a perfect candidate to yoke up the sleeves and make it the gym shirt and just be the weirdo at the
Yes.
gym
Yes.
if gyms ever come back to just be like,
Yes.
comedy
Comedy.
shirt.
I
It's a
rock
comedy
my festival T-shirts at the gym. I rock comic in Orange County has one that says "Sex, Drugs, and Jokes."
Okay.
and I rock that tank top, that like muscle tank top in the gym all the time. I'm
Hell
just
yeah.
like, what up? What do you think of me? Hi, Tia Fuerte's here to do some squats, bitches. Like, that's how I rock the gym.
I was gonna say real quick, just go back to the fireworks thing. When I was growing up, we would get the 144 pack of Black Cat bottle rockets.
Oh yeah.
And my friend Madison, his dad owned a piece of land, 93 acres of cow pasture, and we fashioned out of like copper pipes launchers essentially for bottle rockets. So it was like a long rifle. So you would get the bottle rocket and put it at the top, light the fuse, and then drop it down to the bottom, and then you could aim the tube.
Wow.
And we would have these like Gettysburg like volleys, shooting bottle rockets at each other and stuff like that. It was always good.
Sure.
And then you'd have the Roman candle for the close quarters, close combat.
Wild.
That rules.
Once you were pretty sure they were out of bottle rockets, you rushed them with the Roman candles.
Of course. Do you feel like that is like a strictly American thing, trying to blow each other up with fireworks? Does that feel like
No. Apparently, Stuart was traveling through Europe a while back, and in like Spain or Italy, they just fucking at one of their festivals just launch fireworks directly into the street at one another.
whoa?
Yeah.
I cannot remember if it's Spain or Italy, but I've seen that on Travel Channel. It was like one of those like, can you believe this? I'm like, no, that looks dope. I can believe
That's
that.
cool. It's oddly comforting to know that we're not the only country.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, if the pandemic's taught us anything, we're not alone in stupidity in the world. People are always like, oh, dumb Americans. And it's like, no, we're all dumb lollipops.
I mean, we're the dumbest, but
Yeah.
there are other dummies.
Yeah. So many dummies.
Yeah.
That's a perfect segue to go into something I was going to read to you guys. So I got a couple of, Corona-related things, and you're going to sort of sense an emerging theme here.
Okay.
First story, this is from right here, Los Angeles. A recently released study by the National Bureau of Economic Research found no evidence that the recent racial justice protests have resulted in increased cases of COVID.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
I believe that too. Yeah.
Well, because everybody's outside and has masks on, right?
Right.
And they're being aggressively responsible too. Like
Yeah.
we've gone to a couple, and like every street corner, it's somebody with hand sanitizer in one hand and sunscreen in the other. Because they're like, "Look, white people, thank you for coming out. We want you to keep coming out. So we're
Yeah.
gonna spray you down with sunscreen."
Exactly. Are you okay? Do you need anything?
Yeah.
We saw a guy with a cart full of masks that he was just giving out to people.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So people are being very, very responsible about it.
Well, so yeah, the crowds are being responsible. Who's not being responsible about it? However, on Tuesday, the Los Angeles Police Department announced that cases among LAPD workers rose 21% from 170 cases to 206.
Get him.
LA Police Chief Michael Moore went on to directly blame the rise on, quote, challenging conditions affecting officers during recent protests, noting that most of the new cases occurred among officers and dozens of civilian employees. So the LAPD has faced criticism for officers not using face masks, even though Chief Moore said police are instructed to wear them whenever possible. But he went on to say that masks make it difficult for officers to effectively communicate via radio.
Baby, but the babies.
What would that have to do with enunciate? Just enunciate and speak loudly.
I've ordered several burritos through a mask. You can tell this is not difficult. It's not hard. You got to just talk a little bit louder, and I don't think cops are soft-spoken very often. So
I have two mumblers in my life. Stuart's a mumbler and a stutterer, and Nicole Yates is a mumbler. And I just look at them and I go, what?
yeah, speak louder.
Speak up.
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. At the protests, the only people that aren't wearing masks are the cops, and none of them are. And then then they go back to the precinct, and they're the ones that are getting their secretaries sick.
Exactly. Yeah. You know.
This is how we defund the police.
Yeah, just wash your hands, cops. How about that? Wash your damn stinky hands.
No, well, cops definitely don't wash their hands. They for sure.
They just like urinal and go.
Yeah, you can see it. They got dick hands.
Why would I wash them? They smell of combat.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
So that's here. This is from Lewis County, Washington. Lewis County Sheriff Robert Schnaza
Bummer.
is seen in a Daily Chronicle video.
Bummer name.
He doesn't even have a big nose. I'm like, come on, man.
Wasted.
A rose by any other name, my ass. Robert Schnaza is seen in a Daily Chronicle video addressing a small crowd of old white hicks through a bullhorn, saying, quote, "In case you guys didn't hear, Governor Jay Inslee in his infinite wisdom has decided after over 100 some odd days that we should all wear face masks inside and out. Here's what I say, don't be a sheep." Schnaza said this to applause. And just to describe the crowd, it looks like someone picked up an old-time country buffet at lunch and just shook it out onto the street. Like, the shades of white in this crowd they swing wildly from guys who look like Timothy McVeigh to guys who look like Vanilla Ice now. That's this crowd, if I could
Just a
describe
sea of rascals.
That is a Kid Rock's honky tonk worth of
Oh, we
French
talked about that
monsters.
yesterday. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. After he said this, he shook hands with everybody, and no one was wearing a mask, and there was no social distancing. But then, weirdly, on Wednesday, Schnaza, who is now wearing a branded sheriff's office mask, went into more detail about his statement. He says, "When I said don't be a sheep, it means you don't have to be a follower. It's okay to be a free thinker. I understand where Governor Inslee's coming from. He's saying science and data and all that. But then to say wearing a mask outside in the environment every day, well, I just have disagreements with that. We will investigate."
He just made it worse.
Yeah. He says, "We will investigate each complaint on a case-by-case basis, and we'll do all the education that we can, but that's as far as we're going to go."
Do I get to fight him for his name now? Is
Yes.
that what it is? Do I get to I just get to fight him for his name and just become famous Anna Schnosley?
It sounds like he'd be pretty pissed if his last name was Valenzuela.
Oh,
so.
I know. That'd be really great. That'd be really, really
about me
great.
says that like an ethnic last name would upset him a little
We're
bit.
gonna fight him.
I wonder what it is.
I have a theory that the man's last name is probably why he's a cop, because my running theory with cops is this. A lot has been made about the treatment of nerds in high school, right?
Yeah.
But nerds are generally kind of bookish and smart.
Yeah.
And nerds get picked on, but what about the kids who aren't smart who get picked on? Because nerds go on to get degrees and become like business psychopaths and run Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
But what is to be done with the rest of the ones that get fucked with? Because there's this weird misconception where it's like, oh yeah, cops are like bullies. It's like, no, they hurt people. They were the ones who were getting bullied. And I think Mr. Schnaza probably got fucked with a lot because of his last name, you know what I mean? And now he's yelling into a bullhorn to the dinner rush at the buffet.
There's a great Tilt song, LA female old punk band. And it's called "Be a Cop," and it's like their slogan. So it's like, "You'd be a cop, and you can be a cop," and it's like it's really great. Don't you think you'd make a really good cop? it's really, really fun.
God.
Yeah.
This is the last little thing I was going to read. So, meanwhile, the United States has had approximately 2.5 million confirmed cases of COVID-19, which represents 25% of the world's known cases. So, a full quarter of the world is us, and we only have 350 million people.
We're number one.
God.
We're number one.
It's a goddamn billion people in India. Why are we 25% of this?
Yeah.
Why we account for almost nothing.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like population wise. So why is this?
It could be that our president hasn't worn a mask since the beginning of this pandemic, and dum-dums look at that because it's like not so subtle messaging, and people are like, he might get sick. I'm like, that's not the thing you should be yelling about. He might get your grandma sick because she's like, well, if it's good enough for the president, I'll just breathe the disgusting air.
Oh, yeah, that's the next paragraph, actually.
I'm gonna be a journalist.
Well, so we've got 2.5 million cases, but the CDC actually believes that the actual number of Americans infected with the virus may actually be around 20 million. That's with the amount of testing, but they actually think it's about 10 times higher than the confirmed cases.
Wow. And we have, what, 350 million people here?
Approximately,
That's
yeah.
a significant percentage. And we're
That's
only
a
going up
lot.
from here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If it were Mad Cow, they would have pulled us all off the shelves.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Oh, absolutely. President Trump, who refuses to wear a face mask in public, has tried to downplay the risk. He told a crowd in Wisconsin today that his administration had done, quote, an incredible job fighting the virus. And he added that if we didn't test, we wouldn't have cases, which ignores the indicator of the extent of the problem as surging hospitalization surge in some areas. So the weirdest thing with Trump, and he is a big bag of weird.
Trump 2020, a big bag of weird. That's so accurate.
I mean, well, because people like focus on what an asshole he is, and he's definitely an asshole, but nobody talks about how just deeply strange the man is. And that's really what I'm interested in.
He's so weird. Just drinking a cup of water and throwing it defiantly because somebody pointed out that when an adult man drinks a cup like this, it's strange.
No, he's a deeply strange person. That picture of him from like the golf course where like the wind is pushing his hair out, and you see just like the part of his face that is tan and the other part of his face that is not tan, and you're like, what do you see in the mirror when you wake up in the morning?
He looks like a sweaty drag queen.
Yeah.
Is what he looks like. Like he was just twirling at Mickey's. Yeah. And he's lost the wig line real hard.
Seriously.
You know?
RuPaul challenged him to be a red panda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm just like, I really just want him to like tumble and a shirt to come untucked, and I just want us all to see his belly. And I think I think it would upset him so bad if we saw Trump's belly. I think he would kill himself.
Okay. I got a plan.
Yeah.
Take a picture of Trump. Take a picture of your dog Jackson's belly.
Oh,
Photoshop. Listen, Jackson has a much bigger dick, so you're gonna have to Photoshop.
my dog is 20% dick.
He is 20% dick. You're gonna have to Photoshop the dick out, and then just put the belly in there. And I think that's about. I think that's about right.
Yeah.
How much do you think? Is it treason if you go up and you just like go on the president's belly? If you give the president a raspberry on his belly button, is that treason?
He just walked up to him.
Motorboat his titties. Yeah.
Yeah. If you motorboated the president, is that treason? I think he could never come back from it.
Could you imagine the Secret Service, like they're beating you up, they drag you in, and then they close the door and they're like,
high five.
It's pretty funny.
Like, you're going to federal prison, but like, you want a pizza?
Yeah.
We'll order you a pizza.
And
you're a hero.
Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that I cannot motorboat the president. You will need to pass a new amendment, and then I will walk free on the steps of the Supreme Court.
It's technically a sexual assault, but it also could be an argument for like if money is free speech, motorboating should also be free speech.
Yes,
I think this is a movie. We should write this movie. Just
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. And we call it Brandie goes to DC.
Miss Posey goes to Washington.
Miss Posey goes to Washington.
Yes.
And then it's just a heist movie where your whole goal is to motorboat President Trump.
I just want to push those little orange titties together.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
or at the very least, like play it like conga drums, like.
Yeah. Exactly. I just want him to know that I know how much his fat jiggles.
We have to have a blood sport style training sequence where you have a sensei.
Kumite.
Kumite. Yes. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing that he keeps saying about how like, oh, if we didn't test, we wouldn't have cases.
Yeah.
Is like is it just a thing he's saying to drive me insane personally?
It does feel personal.
Like he knows it's crazy.
Yeah.
The people who like him know it's crazy. They're not going to admit that they know it's crazy. They just are doing it to fuck with you. And is he that smart?
No, I think he has a raging personality disorder. Narcissism's been thrown around a lot, but he could be a male borderline because that is some straight up my grandma kind of a thinking. Like, well, I wouldn't be in trouble if you wouldn't always tell me I have to take my medication. I wouldn't be sick if I wasn't on this medication that saves my life. So that's definitely something I've dealt with for years. That's why it feels deeply personal, because that's the thinking of a very senile and aging narcissist and or personality disorder of some sort. He's a real wreck.
I was going to describe it as this, and then I realized that it's the name of a Steely Dan album. Is that what pretzel logic is? Because that's what it feels like, is like you're tying my brain into a pretzel where I'm just like, does he know how crazy he sounds? If so, is he doing it to fuck with me? Do people who like him know this is crazy, or are they just doing it to fuck with me? If you think about this too long, it's like the Lewis Black joke. If it wasn't for my horse, I wouldn't have done that year in college.
Yes, exactly.
If you think about it too long, it kills you.
The words lose meaning. He's the king troll. He's king troll. He's not the president. He's king troll.
King troll.
Yeah.
He trolls, and he's very good at it. He's very good at being a troll. Like he's an idiot.
Had some real zingers.
Absolutely. Well, I said I did the unpopular opinion podcast, and my unpopular opinion is it's okay if you're a leftist to laugh at people that he appointed. That now he's like, Jeff Sessions has a tiny brain. It's okay to love that, because I've hated Jeff Sessions since.
Has a tiny brain.
Seriously.
He told Ted Cruz his dad was the Zodiac killer. That's funny as
hilarious. Because
that's so funny.
Because fuck Donald Trump, but also fuck Ted Cruz more for trying to have some goodwill towards Donald Trump. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. Exactly. You're trying to play politics with a lizard. It's not going to work that way.
It's like when I try to talk to Jackson rationally about his behavior. I'm always trying to talk to the dog. I'm like, listen, we got to have boundaries, man. I can't keep you safe if you keep biting my feet off. And he's like,
I'm a fucking dog.
I'm a dog and I'll kill you.
You will feed me and pet me when I ask for it, and I will piss on the floor willy-nilly. Because I'm an old man, and what are you going to do about it?
Exactly.
Well, because he is King Troll, but he has a team there. Yeah. And I have a theory that because my assertion is that Trump is evil the way a tornado is evil. There's no thought to it. It just destroys everything in its path.
He's chaos.
It's chaos, right?
Yeah, he's pure chaos.
But then that thing happened, last, is this event that was supposed to be, Saturday, and they moved it to Sunday?
Oh, yeah, Tulsa.
Where they scheduled it on Juneteenth, and everybody's like, he did this on purpose. I'm like, I think
he didn't do it.
Like
Steve Miller
Stephen Miller did this on purpose. Exactly. Yeah, because anytime there's any sort of just evil fuckery to it, that's Stephen Miller. And if it's just random rage, that's Trump.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, Trump is the most uncurious person.
Yeah.
He still doesn't know what Juneteenth is. And the entire country was like, you can't do it on this day because it is a holiday. And he still didn't listen when they told him what it was.
I didn't grow up with it as a holiday. I don't understand. What are you celebrating?
Yeah,
you're celebrating freedom? You already had it for 2 years. I don't understand.
Yeah. And then he immediately, within an hour, he forgot what they told him already. He's the most deeply uncurious person. I've never seen a picture of him at even a tourist attraction anywhere. Like he's
at a tourist attraction, he's in front of it, smiling. He's trying to be the attraction.
Yes.
People say he's Hitler, but it's like, Hitler at least toured the Louvre when he took over Paris.
Yes. No, he had zero interest in the Louvre. Yeah. Like Trump doesn't care. Trump only wants to go to a McDonald's and see his hotel in that city and go to a golf course. He is not interested in it. He has to look at the Washington Monument. Yeah. It's the only reason he's ever seen it.
See, Hitler could paint. Hitler could paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you look at Trump's face, he can't paint to save his life.
Yeah, exactly.
He's putting the contour all up around all the wrong areas. He's not, he's bad. Michelle Visage would talk to his ass.
Trump has never crafted in his life.
He's never crafted.
Can you imagine trying to be like, Daddy, would you like to make something with me? Would you like to make just a puzzle? Trump trying to put together a puzzle.
Holding the pieces with both hands.
It's just like a little dinosaur, just like.
Did you see the clip? Because Don Jr. has a podcast. Have you heard the clip of Trump on Don Jr.'s podcast that he just started?
No.
It is so.
The podcast game's officially over, guys.
So it's.
Whoa.
I actually died laughing. I'm a ghost now because of it. Because fucking Don Jr. has him on, and Trump hates his sons.
Oh yeah.
And he hates Don Jr.
Well, because he doesn't want to fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. He fucking hates them. So he goes, all right, we're going to ask a couple questions. So my first question is, which of your children is your favorite and why is it Ivanka?
The wise guy over here. All the same, 100%.
100%?
100%. And I'll even say you only for purposes of this interview. But other than that, all the same.
Okay, well, I'm going to remember that, okay? Because that's...
Like, that's the amount of... He hates him.
He hates him. He hates his podcast.
It was
he hates everything about it.
I gasped and I was like, I hate both of you.
Yeah.
This is so...
He was just telling
so
him.
mean.
He was telling Eric to just you could just ask me questions. I don't even really need to be here. You could just cut my responses in. That's what a lot of major news outlets do anyway. So I don't even really need to be here.
It's fucking great.
It was crazy.
Well, that reminds me of a man that Donald Trump is often compared to, and I think rightly to some extent, except that he actually is a billionaire and made money and, and shit like that. And that would be Vince McMahon.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a very funny tweet. I'll try to find it and I'll retweet it at the Goods Pod, where somebody put side by side. So Vince has two kids, Stephanie and Shane. Shane is somewhat involved in the wrestling business, but he famously quit for 10 years and went off to run hedge funds in China or some shit, right?
Go be a person.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Stephanie marries this other wrestler, Triple H, and Triple H is now essentially running the company. So he's Vince's son-in-law, and he is kind of the heir apparent. And Shane famously jumps off of gigantic things to impress his dad when he has wrestling matches, because he wrestles sometimes. And it's always this thing where it's if Shane McMahon is wrestling, he's going to do something irresponsible, like jump off of a fucking 25-foot cage.
Daddy.
Daddy, look at what I can do. I'm going to jump off the roof.
And what was so funny was Vince, somebody found these two tweets and put them side by side, and they were birthday greetings from Vince. One was to Triple H and one was to Shane. And one to Triple H, it just said, I would like to wish a very happy birthday to my son-in-law Triple H, the hardest working person I've met. And he's just gushing, just going on and on about what a fucking great guy Triple H is. And then the next side by side of the tweet, it just says, happy birthday to my son Shane. That's it. That is the Don Jr.
Yeah.
That is Don Jr. He wants it so bad.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, that's good.
To me, Don Jr. just looks like he sleeps in hamster shavings every night.
Yeah.
He has
yeah, he's very rat-like.
He has a very I like to sleep in a puddle of weird shavings.
A couple, and this is before the pandemic. This is about a year ago. He did something that I was so mad at him that I was like, where are your parents buried? I want to plan a tour and piss in their graves. And because that's how I exact revenge sometimes. That's where my brain goes. I'm like, what would upset you? Well, I'm going to piss on your mother's grave. And I found an article because I was like, where are they buried? And then I found an article of a journalist trying to find out where they were buried. And Trump at that point, even this was a year and a half ago, was so hated that this journalist goes to the cemetery in Queens they're buried, and nobody in the cemetery will tell them.
It's unmarked now.
Yeah, they will not say where his parents are buried because so many people have tried to find his parents' graves.
Oh, shit.
And I...
try to dig them up like Lincoln and shit?
Yeah, basically. It's just we just want to fuck with his parents' graves. They just won't... They will call the cops if you try to... and then if you then walk around trying to look for it, they will try to get you kicked out.
There's probably probably some like Santeria practitioners who got to it and then like fucking just waiting.
Yeah. Well, that's like Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Taylor's graves being actively guarded 24/7 for real.
Yep. Yeah.
Why Elizabeth Taylor's? I don't understand. Are we
Michael
mad
Jackson,
at her?
I understand, but
Like,
Well, no, they're buried next to each other. So I believe I think it's just Michael's security, but he effectively is guarding both.
you ever watch that Elizabeth Taylor video where Elizabeth Taylor and she's at Michael Jackson's for Christmas? You ever watch it? It's like a 30-minute Dateline special. And I watched it for a historical roast, and I fell down the rabbit hole of that fucking video so hard I could barely write a joke, and I could barely play Elizabeth Taylor. She was a deeply deranged person.
Something bad happened to her.
Yeah.
You have to think if Elvis had lived, that would be like the power trio.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're the only three people really on the planet that could really talk to each other.
Yeah.
I know in the Whitney Houston documentary, it's very sad, but there is a part where they talk about her and Michael Jackson's friendship, and sometimes they would just meet up and sit silently in a hotel room together because at the point that they were big, they were the only two people that understood what they were going through. Aww. So they just like didn't even talk about it, but they just liked feeling like somebody else knew what was going on.
Yeah, that is what they always say about Elvis, right? Is that, the Beatles, at least, there were four of them, so they could at least chat with each other if shit was weird. But Elvis is just like kind of on his own, and there is no one else, up until that point that had an experience like that. So, of course, he ended up nuts,
You know what I miss?
Poor Bubba. Yeah.
I miss Elvis sightings.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice, remember? Harkens back to a different time. Cold War.
Bat Boy and Elvis were on the cover of all those things. Yeah.
I miss them.
Mm-hmm.
Bat Boy and Elvis got kicked off the front page of the Weekly World News by Saddam and Osama's gay wedding.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
That's a great one.
I think that was the last Weekly World News that I actually purchased at the grocery store. It was too funny.
It's too good. It's too good.
I took it to my math class in high school and passed it around. I was like, look at this. It's the funniest thing ever.
I loved those, man. When they were still funny and they just had all those stories that were crazy about like Bat Boy and shit. I was like, yeah, this is all, like early Photoshop. I'm like, yeah. I don't want to hear about real people. I don't want to see a bad picture of Kirstie Alley. I want to see this shit.
Yeah, well, I think it's like now real life is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait. I've been yelling about this. I cannot wait until we don't have America's #1 touring comedian in the White House.
Yeah.
And we can go back to being clowns. I want to be the clown.
Did y'all watch that rally? Because, I mean, everybody's pointed this out, but my God, it was just the most unpolished comedy special I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
and yet he was like killing, which is, here's what's weird. That crowd, however big or small the K-pop stands made it, for that crowd is people who love Trump. Trump killed harder in that rally in front of his people than Nick DiPaolo did in his special in front of his people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, Nick DiPaolo did that weird special where it's presumably all, Republican weirdos that like Nick DiPaolo, and he's bombing and he's trying to do the thing of like, oh, what, are you getting offended? It's like, dude, no,
they're your people.
They're your people. And then Trump, meanwhile, never done comedy, fucking just destroying up there.
Yeah.
Well, he did have, Brandie pointed out, when he photoshopped Obama into the Biden announcement commercial.
Oh, yeah.
That was very funny.
Yeah, it was very funny.
And when I personally love the Independence Day Photoshop retweet.
Jesus. That one is insane. Have you seen that?
Wait, what was that one? I didn't see that.
It's the speech from Independence Day, the big one that Bill Pullman gives.
And
it's photoshopping Trump's face onto Bill Pullman.
But then
the crowd is just all of his people. They're also photoshopping all of them.
And Mike Pence. And fucking Ted Cruz.
Yeah, it's just all their faces on top of it, but it's the same speech. It's like God, Rivers, I'll send it to you.
So funny, Rivers. You gotta look it up. It's the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it. I'll retweet it.
Yeah.
I don't think he did it. I don't think any of his staffers did it, but whoever found it, that's great. Congratulations.
It's very
you win,
funny.
guys. You win. That's deep. You're funnier than Biden will ever be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
If they wanted to really kick the dick off of Biden, they would take every single TV appearance and just play the Benny Hill theme
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
over Biden talking.
Or just slow piano music and then just him like kind of looking out a window vacantly.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Where am I?
No, that's coming.
My teeth feel strange.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that rally. I was like, okay, well, I know what they're doing now. I know what this is about to be.
Yeah.
It's Ugh.
American just went into roast mode.
Yes.
So this is from North Texas, a town called Carrollton, Texas.
Okay.
As North Texas watches COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations surge, one family is shouldering a health crisis that they never expected to face. That crisis began on May 30th when just a single relative unknowingly infected with COVID-19 interacted with 7 family members at a surprise birthday party, and now 18 members of the family have tested positive for COVID.
I mean,
Surprise!
surprise.
Y'all gonna die.
Gonna wipe out our entire line. God. I mean, so it's insane.
Okay, so first question, have y'all ever been to a surprise birthday party that wasn't like awkward or just bad? Like, who likes these?
I've never actually been to a surprise birthday party because
I hate them.
When I was a kid, I was the kid that like could not keep a secret. If you told me, I would be like I just couldn't keep a secret. And when I was like, there's a character and on my block that can't keep a secret. I empathize so deeply. To me, both secrets and magicians feel like lie. You know, like it's not. It's a well-meaning lie, but it's still a lie,
Still a lie.
and I can't hold on to a lie. I can't do it. I can't do it. And so, so that being said, I never ever have been a part of a surprise party of any kind because you can't tell me things.
In my experience with surprise parties, the only person that enjoys them is the one person who's planning it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's who they're for.
Wait a minute! I planned a surprise party one time.
Wait.
Oh my god! I totally forgot. I planned one, and it was metal themed. You would have loved it. It was metal themed, and everybody had to wear black. And we opened he opened the door to a wall of we were playing. I think like some sort of death clock type Slayer metal. And then that was it. I planned one surprise party my entire life, and you were right. It was great. He hated it.
He hated it.
I think
Hated it.
if you were like a true extrovert, you like surprise parties, but so many people I know are like actually introverts. So you got to be in the mood to like socialize, and you can't just have a party thrown upon you.
Yeah.
Like, and I love being around people, but I'm an introvert, like act like to recharge. So like if I'm coming home and then there was like a fuck ton of people there, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah. I think I'm in the exact same camp where I'm like, if I have time to mentally prepare for a party, then I'm all about it.
Have a great time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to have one sprung upon you when you're entering your home is horrible. And then 2 weeks later to get the second surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
COVID.
Like, I didn't even want to go to that shit.
Was it the person who the party was for? Who got the COVID? Was the party planner? Was it who's patient zero of this family of dumbs?
So it says that Ron Barbosa is keeping track of 18 people in his family who have tested positive. Per Barbosa, 7 family members contracted and spread the virus to 10 other relatives, either at the party or through family interactions.
Woo!
That's going to be whoever survives is going to make for an awkward reunion next time.
Yeah.
The celebration was for this guy's daughter-in-law.
Not even the direct family member. Oh,
It's a real Vince McMahon situation.
Yes, it is.
It's a real Triple H, I like you better party.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And the daughter-in-law was turning 30.
Okay, so also, let me say this. I don't want my family to throw me my 30th birthday party because I'm in my 30s now.
Yeah.
So that's not even a fun birthday.
You should be drinking White Claw and getting out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she doesn't want her family there for that.
Not for your birthday party.
That's not good.
No.
What I think it is that weird shit of people are like, oh, we're all related, so we can be together. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, it's not. The virus isn't like checking your blood first. Like,
yeah. Blood is thicker than virus.
None of the three of us are scientists, but we also. But these are things that we know.
We know that.
We just know.
We know it.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite CDC articles I've ever read, and yes, I have favorite CDC articles. Okay, so there was a company picnic. Okay, this happened like 10 years ago. There's a company picnic, and somebody had a cold and was making potato salad. Famous potato. Everybody loves this potato salad. Makes this potato salad, sneeze in the potato salad. Now, and I don't know where I've seen this before, but it's one of these people that thinks that room temperature is okay to leave your food out.
Oh, especially when there's mayonnaise involved. Yes.
Of course.
Seized upon potato salad.
Oh, no.
Sits room temp overnight and goes to the company picnic.
And poisons
And then people were scooping it out, and they said, and I quote, it was as if it was hot on the inside. It was the germs were multiplying so quickly that it was generating heat inside of the potato salad. They still ate it, and like 80 people ended up in the hospital for food poisoning. And it's one of my favorite stories of all time. I enjoy it so much.
I feel like I got food poisoning listening to that story.
And the CDC was just dunking on these people?
Don't do this.
Don't fucking. Because I used to date a scientist, and they sent out these reports to science people, and they were like, and it was basically one of those like, check this shit out, guys. Check this shit out. Look at how stupid people still are. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
The guy that they were talking to for this article, Barbosa, says about the party, quote, "It wasn't that long. It was only a couple of hours. But during that brief time, somehow or another, 18 family members are now affected with COVID.
Somehow or another.
Somehow or another, we all got in a dark room and crouched down next to each other, and then we screamed a bunch. I don't know how it
Without
happened.
our masks on. Without masks on.
Well, I'm not a damn sheep. I'm not
I'm
a
not a
sheep.
sheeple.
It's not like literally everything that says about how you get this is prolonged exposure in a small area with recycled air of some kind. It's not like that hasn't been written in literally every article about it. And they wear a mask and wash your hands and don't be in a small room with a bunch of people.
By the way, do y'all want to guess what Barbosa's job is?
Cop.
Doctor.
EMT.
EMT. God. Oh my
It's like, have you not been dealing with this since March? What's wrong with you?
They probably all got it from him.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
honestly.
amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I was, the last thing I'll say, and then, we'll close up, but I was thinking, like, comedy's never coming back, right? Like, if 18 out of 20 people at a party can get COVID because everybody went, surprise! Like,
Rivers, I'm booked to play a military base on July 3rd for 700 people.
Whoa.
Outdoors.
Outdoors? Okay.
It's outdoors. It's outdoors, and it's like a big space.
It's a
and
big
they're
space.
spread out and everything.
I'm going to bring a hula hoop.
Okay.
Yeah, put some distance.
Put some social distance.
Please just pull up, walk on stage, and then walk off and get in your car. Please don't talk to anyone.
Literally, I know, because they were like, get here early. We're going to put you in a tank. We can't ride you in a helicopter anymore. Like,
No.
you're like, no.
Get the fuck out of here. You want to go? No.
Like, I want to be around you as little as possible, fellas. Sorry.
Yeah.
This shit is not hard. Defending the country.
Crazy.
But I do think, by and large, stand up as we knew it for quite a while will not be back unless you actively have a death wish.
Yeah.
Because I mean, DL Hughley just was performing and had a.
Again, I would not be surprised if it got canceled again, and I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, if DL Hughley dies, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
That video is so scary.
It's so sad.
It is so goddamn scary. And I have, some friends in Nashville, and one of my friends had to go on after that.
What?
Fuck.
What?
They carried DL Hughley off stage, and then someone had to go on and be like, well, wasn't that weird? Anyway, fucking, have you guys ever thought about blueberries?
Hold on. They didn't just immediately evacuate because clearly this person is ill.
Nope.
And illness right now means death for everybody. Another human got on stage, grabbed that microphone.
Yes, they did.
And started doing stand-up. Comedians, we are so fucking thirsty for any opportunity. That is the most brutal shit. I would have been like, no, burn the microphone and I'll go on stage.
Yeah,
Burn
no,
it.
exactly. I'm going to be
Kill
traveling
fire.
with my own mic and a case around my neck.
Me too.
Whenever I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm never touching another communal microphone again. No, this is my baby forever.
Yeah.
Same here. Same here. I got mine. I'm exactly on.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone had to go on after that and just be like, well, Tinder's fucking crazy, huh?
Jesus. It was funny. Anna showed me, you're the one that showed me that like there's like a live open mic happening again in LA now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
There's live open mics. There's car open mics.
Yeah, there's the car open mic. Well, and we kind of made fun of a guy who was having one in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And his place got shut down.
Yeah.
He's done.
It's
Like, it went out of
deeply
business.
unsafe.
Yeah. So
You can't do it. You just look. I don't want to tell comedians that they need to like just do some inner work and maybe just figure out some.
Read a book.
Read a book.
book.
Feed your inner artist. And
You all
then,
ran out and bought a copy of Save the Cat. Read the fucking thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
write a screenplay. Yeah.
Write a script. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Figure out what's going on with your dad and you.
Yeah. Start doing some yoga. You know,
There
work
like
on
we
yourself
go.
a little
get
bit.
buff. Get buff. Everyone's we're gonna need new buff comedians since they're all
Yeah.
fucking children. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's been so lovely to talk to y'all. Tell people where they can find you on the internet and stuff like that. Apparently, you can find Anna at an air base, at a military base. Don't go near her, please.
Yes.
I need Anna free of COVID, so don't
Yep.
approach her.
Yeah, leave her the fuck alone.
Yeah. Leave her alone. Laugh at her jokes, and then fucking turn around and.
here, let me figure out which one I'm gonna be at. Hold on, you go first.
Oh,
It's like
man.
Fort something. It's out near. It's in Barstow. I'm gonna be in Barstow.
Oh, that Barstow just sounds like COVID.
Yeah.
Oh lordy.
That's Hunter Thompson, right? Fear and Loathing.
Yeah.
We were on the edge of
Yeah.
Barstow when the drugs took hold.
Yeah,
My
you go.
dad always used to tell me, he'd be like, "We're in Barstow."
Well, you're in Bat Country, which is where COVID started from. So.
Oh God, you're right.
Fort Irwin, ladies and gentlemen. You can catch me at Fort Irwin. 2 shows, 6 and 8 p.m.
Wow.
One of which is actually on the base. I will be performing for about 500 to 700 reservists whose apparently their morale is bad. I've been told no political humor. And since everything's political now, I think I'm just going to do Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. They're reservists. They're not even active.
No.
Yeah, they called it
Why are they getting
Because-
700 reservists? What the
'cause
fuck?
they had to bring them back in for special training because
Because of all the bullshit.
That's fucking. I thought it was like at least active duty. They're reservists,
They're reservists.
and then they're just gonna go back and have. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, man. Hey,
They've all been in quarantine in their barracks for a couple of weeks, apparently.
quarantining them for 2 weeks before all this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Rivers, things are bad. It's like not good. We're like, it's only the beginning and shit is bad.
I need to get some t-shirts to sell these people.
Comedy. Make the clown shirts. Just make
Yeah.
make the clown shirts, but make it say Anna instead of comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then get a cannon to shoot it into the crowd so you don't have to touch them.
Exactly.
I got a t-shirt gun.
Yeah. Just be like, Venmo me, and then if I get your Venmo, then put your hand up and I'll shoot the shirt at you.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we sell shirts in the future.
Woo!
God damn.
Yeah, I figured after the show, just stand in the middle of a hula hoop and be like, "Don't cross my hula hoop."
Yeah, exactly. Stay that far away from me. This is a do not enter zone.
This is my.
Absolutely.
I know.
My dog just got off of its bed, came out, looked at us, and just did a real
just went-
slow lay down. Like,
Just like he cannot be bothered with our tomfoolery right now.
no, absolutely not. So besides Fort Irwin, where can they find you online?
You can find me at Anna V is Fun on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me at AnnaValenzuela.com. Please check out my podcast, 12 Questions, with myself and Dave Yates. And that's it.
Hell yeah. And I'm Brandie Posey, and you can find me at Brandazzle on Instagram or Twitter. And brandyposey.com is my website. And if you use Bands in Town, you can follow me there for whenever live comedy does happen again. I'll post the dates there. And I have a podcast called Lady to Lady. It's very fun with me, Barbara Gray, and Tess Barker. And also July 11th, I have a show called Picture This that we are doing a Zoom show with Littlefields in New York. And it's comedians paired up with animators who animate your jokes live behind you during your set. And it's a very, very fun online show.
That's awesome.
Follow me for all the shit and you'll find it.
I can't. Who did y'all just have on Lady to Lady? That was a crazy.
Henry Zabrowski.
Okay, yeah, I knew I passed by and I was like, all right, I got to download this week's Lady to Lady because I remember y'all had somebody great. That's awesome.
It's pretty great. We sang, me and Henry sang The Gambler together, which is a bucket list item that I didn't even realize I had. And then I was like, when it was happening, I was like, I feel pretty great right now.
Oh, that's so great. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, check out Lady to Lady and 12 Questions, two of my favorite shows. And thanks again for calling in. We'll have to do this again soon. It's always...
Of course.
Yes.
It's so good to see you.
We got to get a redo of the Vegas story.
Oh yeah,
God,
yeah.
yes.
I still haven't made it out to Vegas, but maybe maybe one of these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
At this rate, they're going to shut it down again if it's reopened.
yeah,
so.
they're definitely going to reshut it. Have you seen the Win commercial they're showing on Hulu? That's like 3 months ago. We shut down for you, and we've been helping the community. And then it's like somebody,
heroes.
and then it's like them being like giving out box lunches in a cul-de-sac with a woman singing next to a tent. And then they're like, but now we're back, and we can't wait to see you again.
No.
And it's like, no, you're just, hey, everybody.
You are the wind beneath my wings.
Wait, do they play Wind Beneath My Wings?
No, I just
But the
decided
vibe is.
that was
Oh,
the
okay.
vibe.
Well, because it's Wind Casinos. You're the wind beneath my wings.
Yes, exactly.
Jesus.
Rivers, things are bad, and they're just going to get worse.
I told some because we've kind of obviously sort of like shifted what we're doing at the podcast just because we can't have studios. So we called these episodes the Corona Diaries, and when we started, we were thinking, all right, well, the only song that I can think of is the song Corona by the Minutemen, which is the theme song for Jackass. And I was like, people will get it. So we play the theme from Jackass, the song Corona at the beginning of every episode. And little did I know back in March that America is just now, we're Jackass. That's welcome to Jackass.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, welcome to Jackass.
How stupid can we be without dying? And the truth is, about the same fraction of people that died in the Jackass cast are going to die in America. So which section of us are Ryan Dunn is the question.
I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is America.
Yeah, welcome to America. This has been great. I hope y'all stay safe, and let's talk again very soon.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Good to see you, buddy.
Love ya.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
That is the damn show. Thank you so much for tuning into The Goods from the Woods. Thank you so much for tuning into the Corona Diaries. We love hearing from y'all. Tweet at us at The Goods Pod. I am at Rivers Langley. Sam Harder is at Slam Harder. Carter Glasscock is at Carter_Glasscock. Head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/The Goods Pod. We've got a big-ass wrestling episode, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, coming as soon as I can get it out to you. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Black Lives Matter. Wear a fucking mask.